means they've all got to be going after young, hot 20-somethings and no one else, right? And yet here I am as a woman who just turned the dreaded 35, and the men who are up in my feed, 28, 25, 23, 21, 20. A literal 20-year-old sent me a like the other day. On Hinge. Lately I receive way more attention from these 20-year-olds than the men who are 30 and up.
Okay, so let's pause it here and let's dismantle this for a second. This woman thinks that it's a flex because she has a bunch of 20-something-year-olds in her DMs on these dating applications. Yo, what is going on, guys? Got a video for you here today that was sent to me, and this is a woman who is losing her marbles, okay? She is pretty pissed off. This is a woman who is 35 years of age, and she is responding to a comment on her video that says, "Why would a man be with a woman who is 35? Beats me." Now, of course, this has upset her, so she pulled out her little microphone, and she is ready with her response. So let's take a listen, guys, as to what she is going to tell us. Don't forget to leave your thoughts and your comments. Let's jump in.
Why would a man want to be with a woman who's 35? Beats you. You know what? Beats me too, sir. Why would a man want to be with a woman who's 35? Well, if we follow your misogynistic logic, we can assume men would ideally like to be with a woman in her early 20s, God forbid late teens.
Okay. So let's immediately point this out. What is this woman doing, guys? Immediately the shaming language comes out, okay? So if you're a man and you don't want to date a 35-year-old woman, then that makes you a mahoganyist, guys. You must not like women, okay? If you don't want to date this woman, if you don't want to date 35-year-old women, then that means that you are somebody, apparently, who doesn't like women. I love this, this strategy that women try and use because, to be honest, they've overused it and it just makes them look stupid when they say stuff like this. So for example, if you have a woman who says, "Hey, I want to be with a man who is financially stable," and I say to that woman, "Oh, you just must not like men, right? You're just a misandrist." It just makes me look stupid. Okay? Like trying to pull this victim card just makes you look silly. Let's continue.
We are logic. We can assume men would ideally like to be with a woman in her early 20s, God forbid late teens. We are talking about women, right? Well, then we can understand how most men 40 and up are ruled out because most women in their 20s recognize that that's fucking creepy. Maybe the men in their 30s can still get away with pulling that, but the men in their 20s? That means they've all got to be going after young, hot 20-somethings and no one else, right?
So let's pause it here. First thing to point out is that women typically date dudes who are older than them anyway, especially as they get a little bit older. Like there are 25-year-old women out there who will absolutely screw around with a dude who's 40. I've seen it many times, okay? And this is how you know it's true, by the way, is because you'll have women who get to 35, like this woman here. You'll have women who get to 40, and then they try and turn around and call you a creep for doing it, even though it's the exact same dynamic that they themselves once benefited from. They're just annoyed because they're not the 23, 25-year-old whatever who's now getting attention from older men. That's first of all. Second of all, even if a man who's in his 40s can't date a woman who's in his 20s, maybe they're not interested, whatever, it still doesn't mean that he wants to date a 35-year-old woman, by the way. Like a lot of these guys, given the choice between choosing crazy women like you and just not dating, you understand that a lot of men just opt to not date, right? Like they don't want to deal with you. They don't want to deal with your baggage. They probably don't want to deal with any kids you have as well. And so where does that leave you? Let's continue with the video. You can tell she's pissed off, by the way, because men don't want to date 35-year-old women.
They'll get away with pulling that, but the men in their 20s? That means they've all got to be going after young, hot 20-somethings and no one else, right? And yet here I am as a woman who just turned the dreaded 35, and the men who are up in my feed, 28, 25, 23, 21, 20. A literal 20-year-old sent me a like the other day. On Hinge. Lately I receive way more attention from these 20-year-olds than the men who are 30 and up.
Okay, so let's pause it here and let's dismantle this for a second. This woman thinks that it's a flex because she has a bunch of 20-something-year-olds in her DMs on these dating applications. Now, first of all, let me just say, wouldn't that make you the creep, by the way, especially if you're liking these men back, right? Using this woman's own logic, would that not make her the creepy one? Would that not make her the predatory one? I've heard a lot of women use that language. So that's first of all. Second of all, none of these men want to take you seriously, madam. Like, women always seem to get this crap conflated. They think that because they get attention from a guy, that they get DMs from a dude, that means that the man wants a relationship with you, that he wants to take you seriously. It's some 25-year-old dude. He probably just wants to have his fun and then bounce. I don't see a world where these 25-year-old guys who are matching with you on Hinge or whatever the age is want to actually have something serious with you. Okay, so, you know, I love how women bring this up like it's a flex. You know, you'll have some 35, 40-year-old woman who goes, actually, all of the men in my DMs are younger. Okay, let's see you try and get a relationship out of one of them then. Especially one that has any degree of self-respect. Like, let's see you actually try and make that happen, and we'll see how that goes for you. But again, no awareness whatsoever about what their dating options actually are, guys. Like, women fail to separate man who will hook up with them versus man who will actually put a ring on their finger. Very big difference.
20-year-old sent me a like the other day on Hinge. Lately, I receive way more attention from these 20-year-olds than the men who are 30 and up. By the way, all very good looking. Often I'll see the face before I see the age and think, oh, he's cute. Fuck, why is he so young? And mathematically, it makes sense that there are more 20-something single men in the dating pool. But there are also a lot of 20-something single women. Why aren't the men pursuing them? So,
you want to know the answer to that question? They probably sent a like to all of them. You're not special. Again, these dudes are not looking to date you. They're not looking to wine and dine you, madam. They're not looking to take you out to dinners and have a relationship with you. Okay? So her question is, well, why aren't these men pursuing the 20-year-olds? They are. They're just sending likes to everyone. They're dudes. But again, she doesn't understand, guys. Like, the women, they don't understand that you have been ruled out as an option. That doesn't mean that the dude is ruled out hooking up with you. Maybe he's bored on a Thursday night. Right? Maybe he's got nothing to do. Okay? Like, he'll still hook up with you. It'll probably get worse and worse and worse over time, and you'll get less and less and less men. But there's always going to be dudes who will hook up with a woman, you know? But she doesn't understand that these are not actual dating options. It's one thing to get a like from a man on a dating application. It is another thing to get married to that man, and it is another thing to have a relationship with that man. Most of these women can't even get relationships from these guys. Like, the men who they're actually attracted to on dating applications, guys, most women fail completely to even get a relationship out of one of them. How do I know, guys? Because all of the women on TikTok are single and complaining all of the damn time.
that there are more 20-something single men in the dating pool, but there are also a lot of 20-something single women. Why aren't the men pursuing them? So I'm just here wondering, what could these men possibly want with me? And naturally, many of you have already concluded, oh, they just want to sleep with you. It's probably some weird older woman kink. They don't want to date you or marry you.
Obviously.
Do you think I want to date or marry a 20-something-year-old man? I barely wanted to date or marry them when I was 20-something.
That's not what the discussion was about. Now what we're doing is we're reframing it. Nobody cares who you were willing to date. That's not what this discussion was about. You know? But notice she's trying to reframe this. The discussion was about, would men be interested typically in dating a 35-year-old woman? And the answer, on average, is no. Okay? Nobody was talking about who you wanted to date. This wasn't even part of the question, madam. This wasn't even what we were discussing. How this is relevant, I have absolutely no idea. Let's continue.
You or marry you. Do you think I want to date or marry a 20-something-year-old man? I barely wanted to date or marry them when I was 20-something. And as I've advanced into my 30s, I try to avoid matching with men who are 29 and under, even if it's casual, because they're just in a different place in life than I am. And that's fine. That's the natural order of things. It makes sense that I would want to partner with someone closer in age for those reasons. Just as it would make sense for any well-adjusted man in his 30s and 40s to want a 35-year-old woman.
I love the advertisement at the end, guys, right? If you're well-adjusted, obviously you're going to like 35-year-old women. If you're a man in your 30s, guys, please pursue the 35-year-old women. If you're a man in your 40s, right, especially if you are one that has access to 20-something-year-olds, please just be a well-adjusted man and chase the women who are 35. This won't cut it, madam. This is not how you get men to date you, by the way. This is not a good advertisement. Trying to shame men, trying to suggest that men are not well-adjusted if they want to date younger women is stupid. Number one, it doesn't work. It doesn't make you look good. It doesn't help you. The men are just going to ignore you. In fact, they're going to double down and just double ignore you when you try and shame them. So that's first of all. Second of all, when you were younger, you were happy to date older men. So I'm just going to throw that out there as well. Third of all, nobody cares. Fourth of all, I've lost interest in the video. Guys, we're going to be leaving today's episode there. Don't forget to leave your thoughts and your comments. Will you please date this 35-year-old woman? Let me know down in the comments below. Make sure you take care of yourselves, and I'll be seeing you all in the next one. Peace.